Hello, everyone, and welcome to another very twisted episode. What are we calling this?
It's a very twisted episode.
Tonight, on a very twisted episode. This is the show where we talk about weird, on a very special episode, TV shows, if that makes sense to everybody. Yeah. We gave you Saved by the Bell before, and tonight we're going to be talking about one of the most iconic. Matt and I are going to be talking about Bicycle Man from 1983, Diff'rent Strokes, Season 5, Episodes 16 and 17. It's a two-parter. And where did we decide this was available on Amazon Prime? I think was that where we watched this?
I watched this on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, and it's weird because we both agreed. We thought it was sooner. We didn't realize it was season 5.
Yeah,
but it is season 5, episode 16 and 17, two-parter, Diff'rent Strokes, 1983, Bicycle Man. This is kind of the one that started the whole on a very special episode thing in the sitcom world. Now, that's not to say that these shows didn't have very special episodes up until this one, but this is the one that started that whole tonight on a very special episode.
Yeah.
And as we kicked off, both of these episodes started with Conrad Baines, who plays Mr. Drummond, giving the audience a warning about what they were going to be watching and advised that they watch the show with their kids. Yeah. So Matt and I decided, when we first talked about doing this, we were like, this was one of the first two episodes that came up in both of our brains were Jesse's song and Bicycle Man. Yep. And it was kind of like, which do we do first? We did Jesse's song, and now we're doing this one. Okay. Both episodes start with Conrad Baines addressing the audience, telling that these episodes might be uncomfortable, and they were.
They're very uncomfortable.
So I watched this a couple of weeks ago, and I kept telling Matt,
stewed in it.
Oh my God, I was so mad at you.
Filth.
I was like, Matt, would you hurry up and watch Diff'rent Strokes? Damn it, because.
And then I watched it one day before work and was like, I'm ready to do this show. Let's just do it. Let's just get it over with.
I felt filthy.
Be done with it.
I felt so filthy. It's been a long time since I had watched even an episode of Diff'rent Strokes, not just this episode, like any. And a couple of things I noticed right off the bat. Todd Bridges is great. I think you
always knew what he was talking about at some point in time.
Yeah, but I mean, seriously though, Todd Bridges and Conrad Baines their acting dominates this show. Like, they are both so good, and like Todd Bridges does such a good job of being the older brother. Like, I buy it. Like, I don't know, I've always liked Todd Bridges, so I think he's a cool dude.
Come on the show, man. We'll talk.
Couple other things I noticed.
Love to talk to Todd Bridges, actually. So if anybody has a contact, put him in touch.
Yeah, I would absolutely love to talk to Todd Bridges. I think he is an amazing person. He's done some really cool things. Yeah. Just out there in the world. How much, and if you didn't notice it, you might if you go back. How much is the setup of their penthouse remind you of the house in the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
Very, very much.
Oh my God! Did you? And I
know kind of the same concept,
the same layout. Too. Yeah, and I know that's a thing. I do that a lot. I'll watch like sitcoms.
An underprivileged child moves in with his rich family or with a rich family.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't really think that Arnold was street fighting anybody on the basketball court. No. After getting in one little fight, his mom got scared.
But as we know in the intro, they did play on the basketball court a lot. You can see that in the opening credits for this show. I mean, they're playing on the basketball court. So, have you ever seen the thing where somebody took the intro of the song is "So the world don't move to the"? You ever seen where somebody's like music changes everything, and they take that out and put this real creepy, eerie music in, and it makes it look like this dude just abducts these two kids to track. It's very weird. You should check it out sometime. But just apropos to this episode. So the family's been renting bikes from this bike shop because, well, they live in a freaking New York penthouse. So owning bikes doesn't always necessarily make the most sense. So they go and rent bikes, right? So they go to Mr. Horton's bike shop, and Mr. Horton, contrary to what Matt believed for most of his life, is not Mr. Feeney.
It's not Mr. Feeney either. It was Mr. Furley.
Mr. Furley. He's not Mr. Feeney or
I've been
Mr.
calling
Furley.
him Mr. Furley in Mr. Furley's bike shop for like literally a decade or more.
It's actually
like, Gordon, Mr. Furley's bike shop.
It's Gordon Jump who plays Mr. Horton, and some of you may know him as the Maytag Man. He was the Maytag Man for a long time. But a lot of us know him as Arthur Carlson from WKRP in Cincinnati, and I'm going to say he does a fantastic job on this.
Yeah, it kind of makes you question his outside life.
Well, he comes off on the show as being this like goofy, fun-loving guy, and it really sells the character, right?
Yeah,
like he does a wonderful job of selling this like, hey, I'm the guy that everybody would love and nobody would see this from, and then I'm going to be the creepiest dude. Oh, God.
Yeah.
This episode is very cheesy. It's very 80s cheese, but it's written well enough that we can see how this creepy ass dude might genuinely lure kids in. Like they do a really good job of it. So one thing I was reminded of really quick. So you see there on the screen, we have Arnold, played by Gary Coleman, and then we have Dudley. Dudley's a reoccurring character on the show, which I think is really cool too. It's not like we introduced Dudley one time in this episode, like a lot of shows do that. No, he's on the show. He's a reoccurring character on the show, so I think that's really cool. How fast we are reminded that Arnold is a total smartass and just so many one-liners. Everything that comes out of Gary Coleman's mouth, is a one-liner. Like no matter what. I was watching clips of another episode last night actually, and it's the same deal. It's just one-liner. So yeah, this whole episode made me feel gross.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
I guess that says a ton about the writing and and about Gordon Jump's performance. Mr. Horton is so skeezy. You slap a little clown makeup on this dude, and we've got an ice cream.
John Wayne Gacy, man.
Like, right, we've got an ice cream driving demonic kid killer, right? It is Pennywise delivering bicycles. It's just, he's fucking way creepy. So he tricks Arnold by offering him a free rate. So they go in and they basically, Arnold starts begging for a bike for his birthday, and Mr. Drummond agrees. Okay, I'll buy you one for your birthday. So Mr. Horton then kind of like, Horton, here's a who? He then says to him like,
Horton touches a who.
Ooh, but he tells him, he's like, hey, I tell you what, kid, if you want to sneak in here and ride the bike sometimes, I'll let you, before you get it for your birthday. And then he offers him a free radio to go with his bike if he hands out these flyers. And then he literally uses ice cream. And candy.
Like, legitimately, he's like, hey, come on back here. I'll make you a sundae like he does in this clip right here.
Yeah, he uses them to lure Arnold in. He's like, hey, man, I'll make you a hot fudge or a banana split.
Yeah.
That he tells him he'll make him. And he happens to live in the back of the bike shop. And even like everything he does
or chooses to.
Who knows? And of course you can see like in his house, it's like all set up. The kids would love it. There's arcade machines and he always has snacks. He has like pizza and he has ice cream and he has, just comic books and all these things the kids would like in there.
Yeah. And I don't know, like potentially porno magazine.
Oh God. Yeah. It's so messed up, man. Well, Arnold convinces Dudley. Like Dudley wants in on this. He's like, "Hey, can I also win a free or get a free radio?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'll talk to him," because Dudley is smarter about getting rid of the flyers than Arnold. Yeah. So he brings Dudley in.
Arnold takes the credit for it.
Yeah, well,
I taught him everything I knew.
That's what he does. That's what he does, man. That's what I mean. He's a smartass, and that's his character on the show. So he brings Dudley into the mix, and this was where stuff gets really yucky. Like this is where these episodes just get skeezy and make you feel all weird inside. So yes, hiding the porn magazine. He takes a bunch of comic books and stashes this porn mag. Right, I love it. So what is it called, Cutie?
Yeah,
but he stashes
issue uncensored. Yeah,
he stashes it in between the comic books so that the kids will accidentally stumble across it. Right. And
like he points it out to them, like, "Hey, don't find this thing that I put here."
Their reaction is great, by the way. The reaction of Gary Coleman when they realize what they're looking at is like, it's so good. And he's like, should we look at these? And of course, Dudley's like, yeah, we should look at it. It's a porno mag, you know? But he sets the stage. That's why this is a two-parter. He sets the stage. It doesn't just start off with him like being the creepy dude that's trying to like
literally the first episode is pretty much just like, hey, look, I'm a friendly guy. Come down, ride these bikes. Oh, hey, you stopped in unsupervised without your dad here. Come on back. Let's talk back here in my house portion.
And I'll give you this banana split, but don't tell your dad.
Yeah, don't tell your dad.
Well,
they may have a secret door that I can open to see who's here, if it's the police or another authority figure.
But they make that make sense. Like, hey, listen, I gave you the Sunday. Yeah. Maybe you shouldn't tell your dad. I don't want him.
We're both gonna get in trouble. You know. Is like nowadays we know that as grooming.
Yes.
Like they're 100%. Like he's grooming children.
The writers did such a good, like, this is cheesy 80s sitcom. 100%. That's what you're getting. But they do such a good job of writing it in a believable way while still keeping the comedy. Thank God they kept the comedy in it, or else this would have been too hard to watch. It really would have. Yeah, because it's just
it gets
yes, big time. Yeah. So he gives him the porno mag. He just happens to have some skinny dip pictures sitting out, and he shows him those, and he talks him into drinking wine, right? And he does it. And again, I love that too. The kids aren't like, they don't like it, but he's like, well, an adult would drink wine, So he gets him a little drunk. It is so, oh God, it's like, I'm going to get these guys drunk so that I can do creepy things to them. It's so messed up, man. It's just, ugh. So again, yes, things get gross after this. It's hard to talk about because things get really gross after this. They try to add a little levity in. Again, Gary Coleman's jokes help, but it just doesn't. This it's a very uncomfortable episode.
Yeah.
We get the Tarzan thing.
Yeah, which I just got done playing Tarzan with them.
Wait, what? You just got done playing Tarzan with him? What, Matt? What are you trying to tell us? The Tarzan clip, you mean?
No. You're not looking at the screen.
I am looking at the screen. I don't see any Tarzan. Yeah. I don't know who'd you play Tarzan with? No. That scene is just freaking creepy, man.
What did Dudley do?
What did Dudley do?
Yeah, to play Tarzan.
He takes off his shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. And he convinces him to take that he would look tougher like Tarzan if he takes off.
God, I just got done playing Tarzan with Mr. Horton in the bike.
What are you doing? Stop it. Put your shirt back on. God. You had to make this twice as creepy.
I'm going to get flagged for male nudity now.
Yeah. We just lost all our watchers. Dude, it's fucking creepy. He talks him into taking his shirt off. Arnold doesn't want to. Yeah. So he doesn't. But he talks Dudley into taking his shirt off, and they get him to pose, and he's like, and again, he's doing it in a way that almost seems innocent. Like, although the second a dude would have taken his camera out to take pictures of him, like a little chubby kid would be like, "Fuck, no, you're not. You're not doing it to me, man." But then it gets even weirder because he's like, "Here, I tell you what, Arnold, why don't you take some pictures?" And then he gets the kid to ride on his back, and that's where it's it's too much, man. Yeah. We were watching that clip alone, my wife and I, just the clip, and she's like, "Oh God!" I'm like, "Right." Now imagine 2 episodes of this stuff. It is just, ugh. One of the things I really appreciate about this is the end of it, where so Arnold leaves because he's just not feeling it right, and he doesn't like what's going on. He is told Willis and Kimberly, but he swears them not to tell. Now he doesn't tell them what's going on, but he tells them where he's been, right? So they kind of rat him out a little bit. Anyway, they catch him. Arnold comes home and they know he's been drinking. That's what's happened, but he kind of lies about it, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, he leaves. He's not really feeling it, but he leaves Dudley there. And we do find out that he's roofied Dudley, right?
Yeah.
He's given him
playing Neptune, King of the Sea.
Yeah. He's giving him something.
Roofies him or way too much wine or something to incapacitate him, and then puts him in a shower.
He gave me a pill that made me feel funny or something.
Yeah, yeah.
So Arnold goes home. Anyway, Mr. Drummond approaches him and he tells them where he's at, and they get the cops down there.
He does the smart thing, actually. He calls the cops and says, "You're meeting me down here because there's some shit going down.
Yeah.
And I'm about to fucking kill this dude."
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah. And
Conrad Bain may not be the most intimidating guy, but when he comes with the full force of where were they at? New York? Chicago?
Yeah, they're in New York.
Yeah.
They live in a New York apartment.
He brings them with him. And they addressed that. They said, had he gone down there and said something to him, we wouldn't have been able to catch him.
Yeah, it would have given him time to hide his stuff, and
like you surprise the guy, and he's gonna, like, you caught him red-handed, like literally with a child in your bathroom.
Yep, and all the stuff laying out and everything, the pictures and all that. Yeah. Luckily, they get there in time to stop anything really bad happening to Dudley.
That we know of.
Yeah, we have to assume that
something probably happened,
and things had probably happened to people before.
Yeah. Especially if you got that many pictures of you and your skinny dipping club.
Here's the thing.
I'm taking a shower right after this.
We didn't have this episode. We didn't go cut back to the apartment, the penthouse, where the detective is telling, like what Matt was just talking about, where the detective is telling him you did the right thing. And then while he's technically addressing their family, he's obviously addressing the audience at home and telling them what they should do in these situations. I really appreciate this end bit. He's telling them the situation with child molesters and how they work and signs to look for. And again, they're obviously delivering the information straight to the audience, but I thought it was a really creative way. And for 1983, the whole message telling people don't mistake gay people for molest. I liked that bit.
That was surprising. It was like, I didn't know he was gay. It's like, he's not.
He's not gay. Yeah, I love that. He's like, whoa. Let's not mistake pedophiles for gay people. They're not the same, and please don't think that.
And also, it's not your fault.
Yes, they did that.
The kids, it's not your fault. Like,
this
tell an adult, you're not the one. You didn't do anything here. This was him.
Yeah. So I just thought a lot of it was for 1983. It was very woke, like very woke for 1983. This is some big step. Like they could have left the whole gay thing out of there, and they did.
He totally is. It's like no. Like that's not what this is.
It makes you think, like you said, Matt. 1983. How many people were categorizing like gay people were probably pedophiles, right? And so I think it's really cool that they did this. And how many times they obviously knew that kids were like going through trauma after this, and it's like you need to understand you did nothing wrong. Like I love that they did this. I thought it was nice to hear it that they actually took these steps. I thought it was a pretty big deal.
I would say that comparing this episode with Jesse's song that we did previously, they're handled very differently.
Very differently.
One is like, this is what happened. It's just a plot point of the show. But in Diff'rent Strokes, they were like, this is an issue we need to tackle. That we need to make this known to the public of like something, things to look for. There's no Pointer Sisters song playing in the middle of it.
No,
there's no weird, Sinead O'Connor or anything like that. It's like, hey, this kid, fell into a trap basically that an older man set for him. He brought him to the back of his bike shop, and the episode's kind of become a bit of a punchline at this point in time, but at the time and like still now, like you can look at it and go, damn, they had a point to make, and they made it.
And can you imagine in 1983 how hard this would have hit? One of the things that actually came of this is because of this episode, you can look this up, but a kid actually came forward and told his parents that a person in his area was displaying inappropriate behavior.
Yeah.
And because of this episode, that it encouraged this kid to come forward, and they actually investigated and arrested this gentleman.
Yeah.
And it was all because of this episode. They didn't shy, like they dealt with other topics.
Yeah.
Racism obviously is one.
Racism, being an orphan that gets adopted by a rich guy.
They actually deal with.
You somehow don't become Batman.
They actually
no. Hang on. No, he became Superman. Arnold dressed up as Superman in an episode.
Yes, Superman. Yeah,
parodied by Kevin Hart when he played Arnold on the live version, which was fantastic.
They also addressed, and this was kind of cool, Gary Coleman's actual medical condition. because on the show they wanted to kind of ignore it, but obviously he wasn't, like, he looked way younger and wasn't growing. And so he actually later on convinced them, please, let's deal with it on the show and talk about, what it's like to do things like go to high school and drive when you have these kind of conditions. They talk about kidnapping, they talk about drugs. So ran 8 seasons. This wasn't a show that was just on for a couple of seasons. And they hit a lot of topics on the show. So it wasn't unusual for them to hit something, but I think this one probably hit pretty hard. Like no one was really expecting it when they got it.
I don't remember watching this live when it came out because it was like 1983. I would have been like 2 years old.
Right.
But I definitely saw it in syndication years later, and it was just like, oh my God. And I apparently didn't pay attention to the name of the character being Mr. Horton, not Mr. Furley. Sorry to disparage, was it Don Knotts?
Don Knotts.
Mr. Furley?
Well, actually, no. Yeah. No. Didn't we even determine, no, you were wrong even about that? Don Knotts was the other one, not Mr. Furley?
Yeah.
Because there were 2 characters off of Three's Company.
Yeah. Was there a very special episode of Three's Company? That
probably. I don't know. Maybe.
It was about, is he gay or a swinger?
Yeah, that show might not have been as nice to gay people.
Yeah. God, it was the entire plot of the show. It's like, hey, he can live there because he's one of them gay guys. It's no, he just needed a place to stay, and you're being an asshole.
But when that gay went because he wasn't allowed to live with the 2 girls. Yeah, so
such a weird show.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I didn't walk out of this one feeling I liked how they handled it, and I thought, wow, for a 1983 sitcom, they did a really good job of being progressive and woke. But I felt very dirty afterward. Like it just made you feel ski. So imagine again, 1983, how this would have hit people. Like
you're sitting down with your TV dinner in front of your old tube television. Not unlike the one that's surrounding our faces right now. You're sitting there, you're just like, yeah, I'm gonna cut into my Salisbury steak with gravy and mashed potatoes and watch Arnold and Willis and Mr. Drummond with Kimberly, and we're gonna have a good time. And suddenly Dudley's getting touched in the back of a bike shop by Mr. Horton because he gave him all kinds of wine and pills.
Different strokes through the world.
It gets real dark for him.
I accompany.
Oh, I heard it.
Oh God! So there you go.
But no, honestly, like setting that scene, like going in blind, unprepared, and you think that the show that you've been watching for the past few seasons is going to give you this like fun comedic episode, which it does. It gives you a little bit of that.
Sure.
And then suddenly it just hard right turn and like, whoa, this dude is like. But molesting kids, like
it gets to the point though, partway through that even though they're cracking the jokes, it's hard to laugh. It's like,
what's going on. Wait.
I wonder because 1983, you're looking at me. I'd have been 7 or 8, and I'm coming into this and like I'm watching Diff'rent Strokes, and I probably didn't quite understand as much as now as an adult going back, and I'm like, whoa,
yeah.
Like,
yeah, I could imagine like
he didn't put on
as an adult now watching this.
He puts on a Fritz the Cat type cartoon. It makes him watch.
Which, like, what the hell? That cat ain't got no clothes on.
It's like, oh, geez. Like,
and
it's weird because Arnold is way more like, whoa, I'm not liking this than Dudley. And I think it was.
I will say this. Let's think about the relationship between Dudley and Arnold moving forward from this event. Like, how much resentment is Dudley going to have? And I don't remember the show that well, to be perfectly honest. Like they may have addressed it later on, but like, I mean, this could have been a 3-part episode. Like now Dudley's in fucking therapy, and is he blaming Arnold? Like, do you fucking left me there? Like, you left me there with this dude.
But Arnold tries to get him to leave, and they do mention
exactly, and but
they do say,
don't want to victim blame either, though.
Thank God we got there before anything happened. They do make that comment. Yeah. So,
but I mean, still, like, like, hey, if you knew something was up, drag me out of there. Like, regardless of what I'm saying.
But they're kids,
Yeah, it's exactly. They're kids. They're getting plied with free bike rides and Sundays and porn.
Arnold introduced Dudley, but in some ways, Dudley was the one that pushed Arnold in a lot of the things because Arnold didn't want to do it. He didn't want to drink the wine. He didn't want to and he was kind of being pushed. So, they were both kind of, hopefully they bonded their friendship and they were like, from now on, we're we're gonna stick close together, man. We're not gonna let shit happen to either one. So.
Oh, come on. Folks at home, trust me when I say the joke we just cut out was terrible.
That's when you need to drop one of the warning.
Yeah. Warning, Matt said something real fucking stupid.
One of the jokes here. So, yeah. Like I said, I think I remembered it being a lot more cheesy than it was. And when I went back and watched, I was actually very like, wow, this hit way harder than I
real hard.
Yeah. So go check it out. Again, it's available. All the seasons are available on Amazon Prime, so you can go over there and watch Diff'rent Strokes if you want to.
Because the world don't move to the beat of just one drum. Sometimes you got to find it on Amazon Prime, and sometimes it might be on Hulu. You never know. So
you're right. Sure. This is on Prime, though. I will say this. You don't have to have watched the whole series either. Yeah. If you want,
these stand alone as a good like. Oh, this is
here's the backstory. This is all you really need. Their mom had worked for Mr. Drummond, who's a millionaire, and she passes away, and the boys have nowhere to go. And since he's known them their whole lives, he decides to take them in. So now you have two kids from, I don't know if they were from like the Bronx. I think they might have been
Queens, because they only had the blue jeans. I think that's what it was. Something like that, probably.
Right. Yeah. And then now they're living in like Upper Manhattan, like in a penthouse.
Penthouse apartment.
There you go. That's all you really need to know about the subplot of the series, and you could watch just about any episode probably, and it would be fine. So you can go watch these episodes if you really want to know how we feel, and you can go watch Jesse's song as well. Yeah. We have other stuff planned in the future. Yeah. We have a whole list of these as well as our regular Twisted Kids, so you guys should definitely be checking out your regular Twisted Kids. There's some here on the channel, so please go down and watch those and subscribe to the channel because you love us as much as we love you, right?
Yeah.
If you haven't noticed, we have been posting shorts here on the channel as well. So keep coming over, checking all this out. And we're going to, if like I said, hit that subscribe button down there, and that'll keep you up on all the stuff we do here, and you'll get all the goodness. Also, we have a podcast. This is our sister show to our actual podcast, which is the Mixtape Podcast.
Right,
please check that out. Anywhere you can find podcasts, you can find that. Spotify, Pandora, iTunes, all of it. We have a website, which is www.themixtapepod.com. For more information, you can check out the link tree. Will get you to all of our social medias, because we're on all the social medias. We have friends of the show listed over there, other podcasts and stuff that we love. You can go over and check them out. The other thing we have is this show. This show is available there as well. And all of our contact information. You guys are always free to reach out to us. You can email us at yourmixtapepodcast@gmail.com. And you can call us, because we have a phone-in line where you can leave us a voicemail. Matt, do you want to give the folks at home that phone number really quick?
Hey, guys. You can call us at 513-437-2377. I should make it so that it scrolls across here at some point. I'll probably figure out how to do that.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
It's
maybe it is. We don't even know.
Yeah, it might be. I'm editing this later on. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, it's 513-437-2377. Or 513-HERAD77. You can call us and let us know what you think about bike shops now that you know
Jesse's song or
occasionally somebody lives in the back of them and has been touching a child.
If that happened to you, please call someone.
If it happened to you, call the authorities first.
Here's the number, 9. Don't call that number.
Call that number. We won't answer. But
we won't answer. But somebody will. They'll be able to help you a lot more than we can.
Yeah.
We also have a sponsor that helps us out a lot. We hope you guys are checking them out. They're Busted Tees. You can check them out at bustedtees.com. They have all kinds of really cool geek-inspired T-shirts and apparel, and it's great stuff.
Listening to the Mixtape Podcast makes you a total badass. Now you know. And knowing is half the battle.
And we're back.
So please go over and check them out as well. We'd really appreciate it. And we sell swag over on our website too, so you can go over there and buy some. We are working on I think a Twisted Kid T-shirt's going to be available there soon too. So
I obviously have to get one.
Yeah, that should be up within the next week or so. If it's not already by the time it might actually be up by the time this Strokes out.
And it'll have that logo right there.
Yep.
On it.
Yep. Which is a really cool logo.
We already have one that has that logo on it. You should go get those too.
There's all kinds of stuff, guys. Obviously, our content you see is we do the Twisted Kids. We do these very twisted episodes. We do the Rewind Toys. But it's all stuff related to stuff from the 80s and 90s and 70s and so on and so forth. So, and our podcast is very similar vein. So please check it out. Yeah. Matt?
Yeah.
I don't have anything else. I don't know what our next episode will be. We'll have to go down the list and figure out what we want to watch next. We have a whole list. But if you follow us on social media, we will release it before we do the video. So if you guys want to watch along, you can. I will tell you our next episode of Twisted Kid, for those of you who are watching, is going to be Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, The Toy Maker. So if any of you want to watch that, be looking for that episode here in a few weeks. Do we have anything else before we close this sucker off?
I can't remember if you mentioned it or not, but Rewind Toys, first episode is now live on YouTube. Go check it out.
Check it out. Matt, do you want to close this bad boy off?
Yeah. Hey, guys. Just remember to always stay awesome, and that just like us, you too are a Twisted Kid. And cut.
Thank you so much for watching. Check us out on Facebook at Tapeworms, fans of the Mixtape Podcast. We are on Twitter, Mastodon, and Instagram. Please subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. Remember, just like these morons, you too are a Twisted Kid.